Hello, my name is Charles.
Hello, I'm Rupert.
Yes. Today we thought we'd help out some of you poverty-ridden commoners on how to buy a used car. So, piece of advice one: don't buy the V8 version of Range Rover because they're quite heavy on petrol. Have you found that too, Rupert?
I have indeed, yes.
Yes.
Also, I would suggest not buying a Bentley.
Yes, Bentleys can be quite costly on fuel bills. They're quite, the upkeep can be quite high, so
Yes.
probably best to avoid the
And
Bentley.
Rolls Royce, of course. Exactly the same, really. Just too expensive if you're on a budget.
Yes, well, let's keep to the point, shall we?
Yes.
We're trying to advise you on how to buy a decent, cheap runaround. So.
Yes.
Probably best to buy the Range Rover diesel, as apparently it's much cheaper to run, isn't it?
Yes, it's not too bad. Although the price of diesel these days is a little high, but
It's
a lot
bloody
better than-
extortionate, I tell you. I don't know how they can possibly charge so much. I mean, I don't know how I can possibly afford to run a bloody
Please,
Range.
Don't get me started on that subject. It's just despicable.
It's just disgraceful.
No.
How they expect us to afford to live on these bloody high fuel prices, I don't know. Anyway, so rant over there. We're trying to help, by the way. So
Yes.
sorry about that. We do get bloody annoyed, though, don't
Yeah,
we?
we do indeed. It's terrible these days.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
how? Oh, it makes my blood boil.
Yes, Rupert. Yes, indeed it does. Yes.
Calm down.
Yes.
No.
I tell you what. Let's try and calm down a little bit further. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Think of nice things.
Don't buy from a second-hand car dealer because they're bloody awful.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yes, they take great pleasure in ripping you off. You've got no idea what the mileage really is, and of course, unless it's a complete zero, you don't know how many miles the bloody thing's done. So always buy new.
Indeed, and the service history is just despicable. They never have a full service history.
Oh yes, we don't buy vehicles so we can be let down at the side of the motorway because of bloody missing service history. It's a bloody shambles! I tell you, I'm getting bloody angry again now.
Calm down.
Calm down, try to calm down.
Calm down.
Have you got any Valium?
I believe I have, yes.
I tell you,
Try a couple of them. Yes. They'll be okay.
Okay. Just 1 second. Bear with us a second.
I haven't drank it. Anyway, on a lighter note, of course, there are some good deals to be had. There's some very, very good second-hand Range Rovers out there, which actually, although second-hand, and but if you buy it from a reputable dealer, you can get yourself a very good deal indeed.
I'm not sure if we really should be giving that kind of advice there, Rupert.
What else?
Second hand.
Well, yes, but if you're on a budget, sacrifices sometimes need to be made.
This isn't second hand, though. It's.
I agree.
It's kind of.
I personally wouldn't,
But you just contradicted yourself there, Rupert.
I never said I would myself.
Advice tip number 3: make sure that the vehicle that you buy has all of the extras, because when it comes to you selling second hand, you want to get a fairly decent price back for it. Isn't that true?
That is very true.
It's
Yes,
very true. And if it's a basic model, people won't be bloody interested at all, and they'll tell you to fuck off and go and shit in the sewer. And I can tell you, being told to fuck off and shit in the sewer is not a pleasant experience at all, is it?
No, it certainly is not.
Yes.
People won't touch a Range Rover these days unless it has air conditioning and all the rest of the things too. They simply won't touch them nowadays.
So what's the
It's
bloody
terrible.
point in buying one otherwise?
Yes, well, indeed, yes.
What about the alternatives then, Rupert?
Well, if you can't afford a new car, of course, you can always buy a horse.
Yes, a horse.
Lovely creatures, very reliable, of course, well, until they get to a certain age and then you have to shoot them. But until you get to that point, they're very, very reliable. A little slow, of course. You couldn't go down the motorway with one, but they're lovely anyway.
Yes, yes, and of course, a horse is leather-backed and fully guaranteed against rust.
Yes, you won't find a horse going rusty. Yes, unfortunately, you do see many commoners now riding horses too. What do you think?
Commoners now riding horses too.
Yes.
Yes. Who'd have thought it, eh?
It wouldn't have happened when I was a boy, I can assure you now. But these days, you do see such a thing.
Yes, and apparently, these days you can fit a special pipe to your horse's trumpet that reduces emissions by 40%.
Really? 40%?
Yes, 40%. That's a massive amount.
That really is amazing.
That's an amazing amount. At 40% in these days is about 149% in real terms.
Well, taking into consideration the inflation and all that.
Yes, inflation's a bugger.
Yes, don't get me started about inflation.
Yes, the bloody inflation's really... I tell you, bloody inflation's ruining my life. I tell you. Of course, if a horse or a Range Rover isn't really within your requirements, which, let's face it, Rupert, that there are people who can't quite stretch to either, sad as it is.
Yes.
You can always buy an estate car. I believe the Mercedes E30 class is probably a good buy. You could buy the E320. It's a nice diesel, but it's okay. It'll do. It's adequate.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
And the main thing, make sure if you buy a Mercedes E-Class, second-hand or otherwise, that the owner has dogs, so there's evidence of dog hair in the back. Do you know why you should buy a car that's got evidence of dogs in the back? Rupert?
No, I don't believe I do.
If the owner has dogs, then they have a certain compassion for Mercedes.
So, in conclusion, if you want to buy a new car, get a Range Rover. Alternatively, a horse. Never anything lower than that, unless you're really stretched, and then maybe a Mercedes. But otherwise, no.
Yes, if you can't afford any of them, you're better off taking the bus.
Yes.
Yes.
A bus, what are you talking about, man?
A bus is one of them things that... A bus is basically emergency transport for commoners. Yes.
Oh, it's one of those long things with all the windows
Those
inside.
bloody stupid things that get in the way, driven by fat people.
Yes. Terrible bloody things.
Terrible. They're awful, awful. They really do bring down the community.
Don't get a bus.
Yeah,
They're
don't get a bus, no. We don't know why anyone would buy a bloody bus, but they're simply horrible.
Yes.
So, enjoy your car hunting, and make sure you don't buy a lemon. Otherwise, it's not our fault.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye.